What's good, YouTube? Teal here, and welcome to the first of 8 expert solo battles for the Fantastical Parade expansion. Number 1 being the Teal Mask Ogerpon EX. This time around, it's kind of odd, like whether or not it's worth going through all of them. Although I felt it's worth still making the videos, because if you're a completionist like myself, you want to make sure you have them all complete. You do, however, just have to beat this one once, and you get all the hourglasses that the expert level will give you. Kind of an odd choice, but nonetheless, as always, we focus on beating it with the opposite type or the specified type, which in this case it's all dark and no EX. If you want to see a video on how to beat all the solo battles with a deck of 12 or more Fantastical Parade cards, that video is already posted on the channel. I'll link it down below or put it in the little banner thing. Nonetheless, let's get into the deck we're going against. As you can see here, it's pure grass. We got Leafeon, Ogerpon, the Petalil to add HP, Verizon, or however it's pronounced, Verizon Wireless, is there specifically to answer Oricorio. We are playing all dark, so Oricorio is not a problem, so that card is actually beneficial to us if they open it or if they have it in play in general. It's usually a non-issue. As for their supporters and stuff, they do have a Cyrus that we could keep in mind of. Usually our strategy doesn't care for it too much. The big issues are the HP, so it's the Lilligant adding 20, Lucky Ice Pop basically healing for either 20 or infinite. There's like no in between. And then there's the Leaf Cape that adds 30. So keeping that in mind, then we have to keep in mind the other ratios that we're hitting. The good thing is that they're usually only swinging for 60 to 70 damage. They're not swinging for much higher than that. Verizon never really gets built up. And they do like hyper focus on putting too much energy on the Ogerpon sometimes in hopes that it reaches that 120. But again, as long as you follow the deck that I give you and you don't break, which is just part of pocket, you should be fine. So let's jump right to the deck that we'll be using, which is Hydreigon with Murkrow or Honchkrow. Honchkrow is kind of like the key to what made this possible. There was 3 main attackers that I was thinking of when looking at this challenge, which was Hydreigon, which is like the go-to obvious ever since it came out as a non-EX option. Then there is the old school Scolipede. Scolipede was my go-to before Hydreigon existed as just a way to knock out these battles. And then we have the new inclusion would be Obstagoon. The one issue is with Hydreigon and Obstagoon is that they are weak to grass. The issue with Scolipede is Teal Mask Ogerpon's ability, where if it has any amount of energy, or every Pokemon on the side of the board that has an energy is unaffected by special conditions or healed from them. Thus, Scolipede is completely out of the question. We cannot depend on poison to get us there. So it was between Hydreigon and Obstagoon, and they kind of by themselves, neither of them could really deal with this. But that's when I decided to call an old friend. I don't know if y'all remember the list for the Mega Pinsir EX, but we used Honchkrow as well because it's one of the few dark options we have that is not weak to grass and it's still dealing a lot of damage. On their usual board, we're swinging anywhere from 160. I had at one point we were swinging for 200. Like this Honchkrow swings, for those of you that don't know, is 40 plus, and that plus is an extra 40 damage for each Pokemon with an ability. Ogerpon has an ability, Leafeon has an ability, Eevee has an ability. The only Pokemon that they have that doesn't have is Petalil before it evolves, and the Verizon. Every other Pokemon, so just a board with an Ogerpon, like an Ogerpon and a Leafeon, you're already swinging for 120. With red that you can see there, we're hitting for the 140. If they have any other ability, we're basically one-shotting everything, and they can't one-shot us as long as you keep the energy between you and Ogerpon under 5. As for the ranges we're trying to hit, Ogerpon's at 130, which is a one-shot from Hydreigon. Hydreigon with red is able to knock out Leafeon with just one hit. Then we have Guzma to get rid of any capes, and then Lucky Ice Pop is our choice of healing. It's clearly better than Potion. We can't play in DD because we're limited to just dark types, and if it just keeps going, spoiler alert, there's an example where Ice Pop pops off for both of us, and Copycat's just there for consistency. You could technically cut a Copycat for a May if you rather decide which Pokemon you have in your hand. That could be helpful. There's also Cyrus, although they don't tend to retreat much. They do if they need to. So having a Cyrus or a Sabrina even might be helpful as well. But as far as the 20 cards that worked for me, these are it. So hopefully it works for y'all. As always, if you have any questions or you're missing a card here or there, feel free to ask for a suggestion of something different or join the Discord. That is always in the description below. There's a whole community of people. I think we've recently reached 500 members that are willing to help you for any, whether it's a share, whether it's a trade, there's somebody always available. So again, thank you for watching, best of luck, and above all else, stay pro. All right, going first, as far as the ideal line of play, going first isn't part of it, unless obviously you find Hydreigon immediately. And even then, it's a little odd, especially if they go into Eevee. Let's go Pokeball first. Murkrow. Part of me wants to Copycat but trading these for 3 other cards, like what are the chances it's gonna be better? if they had a hand of 4, I would probably copycat there. But we got another Murkrow. Yeah. Not looking too good because we're missing, like, if we had at least a rare candy or a Hydreigon, I would feel a little bit better because we have research, but... They find their Leafeon. Okay. Pokeball. This is why, let's see. Yeah, this is why the Honchkrow is so good. If we draw Honchkrow, y'all see why. Like right now, Honchkrow swings for 160 on this board. So, speaking of though, they said that there's 40 more for each of your opponent's Pokemon in play that have an ability. So we're gonna evolve right there. So we're doing 160. If they put Cape at 170, so I'm gonna keep this hand. So we have Guzma for the Cape or whatever. And then we're just gonna dig for Hydreigon basically. For a follow-up Hydreigon. Or a now Hydreigon? We swing for 130, obviously it's at 10 HP, but we could also just return to Ogerpon, swing for a bit there. We could also do one of these. And let's give him the Murkrow. Let's do that instead. Yeah. If you're trying to win with without losing any points, you would probably not play an all dark deck. I would suggest doing the battle multiple, like, actually the way I got the win with no points given was actually using the Gardevoir deck from my previous video of how to beat it with 12 I was gonna say Mega Rising, what's the new set, Fantastical Parade cards. So since you have to beat it twice anyways, might as well split those up. You don't need to do both of those challenges together. As you see here, now we're swinging for 200 if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, it's like that. There's a reason why we put Honchkrow in the deck. It's not perfect, it's not the answer to everything, but man does it help. Okay, so here we go. 200 damage, and the best part is that no amount of follow-up they have can knock out this Honchkrow. Honchkrow is not weak to, it's a flying type, dark flying, so its weakness is actually lightning in game. So it's not like Hydreigon that's weak to grass. It's not like Obstagoon, which is another one that came to mind. The reason I didn't even consider Scolipede is because of Ogerpon's ability, Soothing Wind, where as soon as they get abilities, none of the poison stuff would work. So that immediately goes out the window, right? And here we win regardless. Honchkrow would have done, let's say they didn't Cyrus. Honchkrow would have done 160, but we could just do 130 up front. If they had a Cape to go to once, if they had Cape, we had Guzma. If it was a Leafeon instead, we had the red to go right over the damage. So this basically showcased why this build works and like how we out basically everything that they have going on. But as always, we do multiple examples. So now as we collect a point here, we'll jump right to it. Just let the animations flow. But yeah, if you have any questions as to why certain choices, or I probably mentioned them in the deck profile of cards that I thought of placing that would still be good in this deck as well. But with that, let's jump to example number 2. All right, this time we're going second. First, we did pretty well going first. Let's see how we do going second. It should be better outside of them having Leafeon. If they have Leafeon, then they get to attack early. It gets kind of awkward, right? Because Murkrow doesn't survive turn 1 Leafeon from their end. Which is fine. We have Pokeball, which maybe we find another Murkrow that we could start building up in the back, or we just find Hydreigon, like a Dino rare candy play. Let's see here. Research. I almost want to research before Pokeball or after. Let's see here. But we already know what's gonna happen here. Let's go research first. Tough, right? It's kind of like I don't even know what I would want Pokeball to hit. So let's go research first in hopes that we get more basics. Get all the Hydreigons in the world. And another Murkrow. Okay, so our line of play is pretty obvious here. We gotta let go of this bird in the front. See where it goes. Yeah, this was the one start that made them going first a problem. And it almost seems like they're playing around Honchkrow somehow. Although I'd be giving the AI probably too much credit. Let's see here. we're gonna be able to swing for 80. So we do outpace the damage here, right? No, we're a little short, but we do have, like, if we draw Guzma, we're fine. If we draw Dino, we're kind of fine too. Yeah, next turn we're fine. There's no way they knock us out next turn. But we do need to find either red or Guzma. Never mind. That does make it a little. Uh-oh. Okay, at least it stays there, so finding Hydreigon does fix our problems, right? We need Dino. If we find Dino, or our Popsicle goes all the way. And we even had the Guzma too, man. That lucky Ice Pop, bro. Can we get a few procs ourselves? Okay, okay. We just need 2 more, and we're still in there, right? 1 more heads, and we're still in this fight. Okay, at least it goes both ways. That's crazy. I was like already thinking in my head like, damn, I'm about to record an extra example to prove that the deck works, because this is not a fair shot for Honchkrow or anything. Wow. Okay. Well, here Guzma's not as relevant. The only issue is that they do play Copycat, but I don't think it's worth it since we're still 2-shotting. We're only swinging for 80 here. Putting in extra energy is actually a bad thing, funny enough, or ironically, because of the, right now the name's escaping me, but the Ogerpon. There's a line where if we gave it a third, yeah, can't play around everything, unfortunately. And honestly, we're just 1 draw away from being fine, and that draw being a bench Pokemon, really, just another body. Come on. Dino. Okay, hold. We have both Dinos and a Pokeball. Come on, don't do us like this. For the content. Bro, the Ice Pop, everything went perfect, but also everything was going pretty poorly. So hopefully y'all enjoyed that one. Let's get our knockout with Honchkrow here, holding it down, and finish it up with Hydreigon in the follow-up. Wow, you can't even make this up, bro. Like, this is real time, back to back, both examples back to back, just recording. And there's nothing they could draw here that saves them. Like, technically they could Ogerpon and give it a Leaf Cape, and that'd be 160, but oh yeah, they're just doing that to survive, right? They have no to survive. We know what's gonna happen. Yeah, they could have technically Leaf Cape, then we had the Guzma ready for that as well. Let's go Rare Candy. Just like that. And even in a world where, like, maybe we couldn't swing hard, like, for enough damage, we're even able to set up Honchkrow as a follow-up here, in this case specifically. Like that, we just close it out. So yeah, as you can see, the deck works. Does it get a little shaky if you brick? Yes, very possible to brick. You're playing Hydreigon, you're playing a Rare Candy deck. You could fit in, like I said, I probably mentioned in the deck profile, but you could fit in May for consistency. You could fit in Cyrus if you think they're going to be backing out and stuff. But as you saw in both examples, when we're swinging, we're usually just going for, like, all out. But as always, thank y'all for watching. Please consider subscribing. I will be posting these as often as I can, maybe even 2 a days, to get them out to y'all while still releasing the other videos that I've been working on. So I appreciate all the support. With that, best of luck and stay pro.